Hello, you absolutely amazing person, you. Sandy Boucher here once again, back with the Path Podcast, the very first episode of season 2, the very first episode of 2024. So I thought I would give you some tools to hang on to throughout the year, tools to hang on to throughout your life, tools that have helped me move from marginalized to empowered, because we all deserve that. So let's talk about it. Hello, you absolutely amazing person, you. Mishko Pugnon, Queen Additional Cosmundo Dam. I'm Sandy Boucher, Red Thunderbolt Woman of the Loon Clan, a proud member of Seine River First Nation in Treaty 3 territory in Northern Ontario. And as mentioned, we are back with the Path Podcast. And do you know how much I love you? The fact that I'm doing season 2 fills me with so much joy. I just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Chimigwich, chimigwich, chimigwich. Huge thank yous. Today, like I said, I wanted to give you some tools. Tools I share with participants in my seminars, tools I have shared throughout the years in my books, tools that I think can help you if you choose to remember them. Because there's going to be people, and there's going to be events, and there's going to be times in your life that are going to challenge you. And these are the kind of things that help you get past that. They are quotes. They are short and sweet and easy enough to remember. And I happen to believe incredibly powerful and empowering. Let's not make a new word here, Sandy. So some of them are mine. They have all helped me, continue to help me, which is why I wanted to share them with you on this first podcast. Let's start this year off strong. The first quote, and yes, handy dandy index card. Okay, are you listening? Their vision problem is not your value problem. Their vision problem is not your value problem. So what do I mean by that? Ever meet someone who didn't realize how amazing you are? Who didn't see your value? Maybe didn't choose to stay in your world because they didn't see just how absolutely amazing you are. And because of that, you started to doubt how absolutely amazing you are. Their vision problem is not your value problem. The fact that they need to get to the optometrist to get their eyes checked doesn't change your value. In the same way, if you went into a store in your local shopping mall and you saw some outfit that was incredibly expensive and you happened to think it was incredibly ugly, the price tag doesn't change. The value of that item does not go down. Your value does not go down simply because someone else can't see it. You got to go find someone who got their eyes checked. Does that make sense? Makes sense. Okay, that was one of mine, by the way. I want it on a t-shirt. That would be amazing. I would give those t-shirts out. Anyways, I digress. The second one, I believe, is featured in my second book, Her Mother's Daughter, because I wrote it when I was sharing my first book with people, when I was doing a lot of book launches and readings from the book, and I would have them at seminars and people would ask me questions about the book. And it would happen all the time, and maybe it happens to you. It still happens, drives me nuts. I would meet a participant, someone at one of my seminars or speeches, and as always, I finish talking, and then that's when everyone wants to come up and talk to me and share their stories with me and share with me what resonated with them. And I absolutely love that. That is like my favorite part of every event. So, time and time again, I would meet people, and I have always been gifted to just see the light in people. And sometimes I would say, like, oh my God, just the way you speak, you would be such a powerful speaker. Or, I love the way you answered that question. Do you write? You would be such an incredible author. Or the enthusiasm you bring to a room. Like, I can't even imagine what your career would be, but it would be, I know you're going to be amazing at it. And I share these things with people because I can see the success in them. And 99.9% of the time, what I get back is the argument. The why they could never do that. Oh, I could never do that. I could never stand in front of people. Oh, no, I could never be a teacher. No, I could never write a book. I could never do that. The second quote is, you will forever be limited by the barriers you choose to defend. You will forever be limited by the barriers you choose to defend. Because what those people don't realize is they could be a speaker, an author, whatever their career is. They won't be successful as long as they keep telling themselves they won't be. As long as they keep telling themselves they can't. It is those words and that mentality that is stopping them. The fact that they can't see it happening or even be open to the option. You don't need to know how, you just need to be open to creators showing you how. But as long as you're going to keep defending why you can't do something, you're right. What's that quote? Tell me you can or tell me you can't. Either way, you're right. That's it exactly. Quit defending your barriers. Defend your values. Defend your attributes, the things that rock about you. Those are the things that should be defended. Next one, the good old feather image, right? We've talked about this a million times and how, as an Anishinaabe, the feather, eagle feather is everything to us, and how when I see an eagle feather, I'm always reminded that one side of the feather represents me and the other side represents whoever I'm in a relationship with or talking to, and that my power is on my side of the feather. This is serenity prayer to the nines. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You can change everything about your attitude, about the way you interpret something, about what someone's words meant to you. All of that is within your control. But if you are wasting all of your energy trying to change somebody else, you're on the wrong side of the feather. You have no power there, right? If you want to empower your teenager, don't try to change their behavior. Change how you're approaching them. Talk to them in a different way, at a different time, in a different way. Maybe text them, email them, phone them, hang out together. Quit the lecturing and change to communicating. The power is on your side. The solution is always on your side of the feather. If something is not working, if some relationship is not working, the answer, the solution is always on your side. Always. You can change something to make that work better. Or you can decide it's not going to and not be there. Either way, it's going to work better for you. So, the solution is always on your side of the feather. Now, you have heard me talk 100 times about the puzzle piece metaphor and how it is our journey, our life's mission to gather puzzle pieces to eventually realize why we're on this planet, why Creator sent us. And it explains why teenagers are so often confused. And please, if you have a teenager in your world, share this video with them. It explains why teenagers are often overwhelmed and confused, and I don't know what to do because they're going to end up being a 1,000-piece puzzle. And that as teenagers, they have what, maybe 4, 5? The puzzle pieces don't match. The colors aren't the same. They don't fit together. They meet someone new, get a new puzzle piece that doesn't fit either. They wonder, why did I meet that person? In the words of my mom, keep going. Keep gathering more puzzle pieces. Eventually, and I can tell you this from total experience, eventually every puzzle piece fits because you now have so many pieces in your puzzle. You can see, oh, I can add that to my mental awareness. I can add this to my educational abilities. This I can add to my conversational style and expertise. It all fits. Keep going. I was in my 40s before I realized what the picture of my puzzle was going to be. Maybe you don't know yet. If you don't, in the words of my mom, sounds like you need more puzzle pieces. Just keep going, but don't ever forget while you're building your puzzle, it's kind of like planet Earth in the universe. While you're building your individual puzzle, you are an essential piece in the puzzle that is your friend group, that is your community, that is your staff at work, whatever the case may be, whatever groups you belong to, you are an essential puzzle piece because that puzzle would be different without you. Anyone who's ever tried to put a puzzle together and got to the end and they're missing one or two pieces, that's you. That's how important you are. I don't care if you're a corner piece or somewhere in the middle, you are essential. We are all essential puzzle pieces. If we could start treating each other like that, so many things would change for the better. Don't you think? That would be just awesome. The last one is not one of my quotes. It's not something I've written. It's not even something I heard firsthand. But like many of you, I'd be willing to bet you're a Brene Brown fan. And if you are, you know she talks about the Theodore Roosevelt speech, the man in the arena speech, and how that changed everything for her. And when she shared it the first time, it changed everything for me. And I can honestly say this quote helps me to engage with my YouTube community. This helps me to engage with all the people that call and email. I'm going to share the quote with you and then we can talk about how it helps me. So, the man in the arena quote is what it's commonly known as. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place should never be with those cold and timid souls who neither knew victory nor defeat. As you can tell, she shared it in the book, Daring Greatly. So often it's the trolls, right? Someone's got to comment, especially on the social media, and they got to say why they think what I'm doing is ridiculous or a waste of time or I don't know what I'm talking about. My mind instantly goes to, what are you doing? But what are you doing? Are you in the arena? Are you trying to make this country a better place? Are you trying to make relationships better for the people you care about? What are you doing? Because being the critic is easy. As Brene Brown calls it, that's cheap seats. That's people sitting in the cheap seats. It is so easy to tear down someone else's idea. What takes guts is having your own and sharing it with the world, especially if you're marginalized or racialized and raised in an environment that taught you you were less than. So feel free to call out the trolls when you see them. Be part of the community, be an ally, call it out. Don't worry, when I see it, it will be deleted because I seriously do have zero interest in the opinions of someone who's not in the arena and just comfortably sitting in the cheap seats pointing fingers. I have built, thanks to social media, and I'm so grateful for it, I have built a network and a community of other DEI consultants, diversity, equity, and inclusion, often marginalized people, often females. And we get to debrief and we get to support each other and we acknowledge how hard this is. But we can hug the stuffing out of each other because we're all standing in the arena. We've all had the rocks thrown at us, we've all had the critics. And I don't want to hear from anyone who says, yeah, well, my work is hard too. Of course it is. Of course it is. This is not a competition of pain. Please let us never, ever get in that kind of competition. This is an acknowledgement that if you have no idea, if you have never done the work, then your opinion doesn't count. And if you have an issue hearing that, that's an ego problem that you need to work on. Sorry, but that's absolute truth. I am up to here with people who want to tell me how to run my company, who have never once had a company to run. People who want to, like all those people that want to tell me how to cook, that cook, I get it. I totally get it, but appreciate it when I want to hear it. I'm still going to opt for just having a kitchen because it came with the apartment. But you know what I mean. So let's stop. And I get it. Those people in the cheap seats so want to be important. They so want to be relevant. You have a choice. You can either build yourself up or tear someone else down. And they're choosing the wrong option. I'm just not listening anymore. Block delete works. So there you have it, my friend, the quotes that empower me. Their vision problem is not your value problem. You will forever be limited by the barriers you choose to defend. The solutions are always on your side of the feather. You are an essential puzzle piece, and so am I. And never, ever choose not to be the man in the arena, because that's where all the achievements happen. I hope that made sense. I hope you enjoyed this first podcast of 2024. I cannot even imagine all we'll share this week. I am not one of those people that plan out my podcast episodes a year in advance because I want the freedom of being able to respond to things that are happening in present time. News that, hits the social media sites or whatever the case may be. And if you have a question, of course, send it to me. I still have so many, some of these are blank, so many upcoming video ideas. And a lot of them are suggestions from people who either watch my daily videos or listen to my podcast. I welcome them all. Until next week with the podcast and until Monday with my daily video, I love you. Take care of yourself and remember, you are an essential puzzle piece. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.